Good evening. I'm Susan Otey, O-T-E-Y. I live at 2409 3rd Avenue North, and I am the pastor of Christ United Methodist Church. And I am here to say thank you. Thank you to the board, thank you to Superintendent Lacey for seeing students who are transgender as students first and not as an issue. I am so pleased to hear the people first language, to know that the school board where I reside, where I pay taxes, is concerned about students, that you're concerned about the suicide rate for those who are transgender. It is high. And I am so thankful that you have taken that into consideration. And as a taxpayer, I am thankful that you are being good stewards of my tax dollars, that you are trying to protect the district from litigation and from costly compliance hearings. So thank you for your work. I appreciate what you are doing on behalf of all the students in Great Falls.
For your comment.
Hello, my name is Margaret Billadu. Last name is spelled B-I-L-O-D-C-A-U. I am a mom to children in the district. I have given hundreds of hours of volunteer work within the district at children's schools, and I'm also working currently as a sub with the school district. My address is actually a Helena address, but I reside on Knoxville Air Force Base. My address is federally protected by the DOJ. I have students at Loy and CMR, and formerly I had a student at North. Members of the board and community, I want to thank you for giving me the chance to speak. Throughout the time that I've been here at Knoxville Air Force Base and in the Great Falls Public School District, as a parent, I've seen various forms of discrimination against students for all sorts of reasons. I thank the district for taking a stand and showing our children that discrimination is not acceptable. Thank you for supporting and protecting all students in the district. The non-discrimination policy is a great stride in promoting diversity in our schools and is a wonderful example and standard to set for our children as they grow into the leaders of tomorrow. I would love to see the MHSA non-discrimination proposal passed by the board as well. Children are inherently loving and accepting. They have no inclination to discriminate unless they are talked to. I'd like to thank the board for setting the tone of non-discrimination in our schools. The way that we treat those in the minority with the smallest voice speaks volumes to our children. Thank you very much.
My name is Tamara Bull, B-U-L-L. I live at 2015 6th Avenue North in Great Falls. Chairman Cahill, members of the board, Superintendent Mason, I want to commend you for the difficult work you do as persons whom we have entrusted in the protection and education and care of the children in our community. Over the past 30 years, I have come to appreciate the Great Falls Public School System's commitment to the welfare and achievement of all students on the one hand, and to the transparency and accessibility in dealing with the public on the other. That has continued to be the case with regard to Board Policy 3210, equal education, non-discrimination, and sex equity. It is important to remember that this policy only makes special accommodation for students who consistently present a need for such consideration, not for those who might seek it on a whim. As a mother of 2 daughters, I very well understand and sincerely appreciate the concerns people may have about ensuring the safety of their own children while at school. But I believe that if we give in to fear and false information, we only serve to foster a culture of suspicion and discrimination where no child can feel safe. None of our children will ever truly be safe until all children, including those who are transgender, are safe. And none of our children can reach their greatest learning potential until all children have such an opportunity. I believe that is the goal of Policy 3210. I support the board's January decision to adopt the changes to this policy, which are now being discussed. And I thank you for the work that you do on behalf of all the students in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
Good evening. My name is Carol Juneau. My name is spelled Juneau, Carol, C-A-R-O-L. I live at 916 37th Avenue, East, Great Falls, and thanks for the opportunity to say a few words tonight. Thank you to Superintendent Lacey for her overview of this policy and the overview of the guidelines and the rules for this. And thank you to the board for allowing people to have any comments tonight on this. I'm an enrolled member of the Mandan Hidatsa tribes of North Dakota, and so I'm familiar with the issue of discrimination as an American Indian, and appreciate the policies that Great Falls Schools has in terms of discrimination for students, including race. I think that's important. I've got a great-grandson attending Sacramento School, and so take him to school every morning, and I appreciate the policy providing a safe, nurturing environment. And that's what I'm hoping when I drop him off and see him walk across to the playground, that he is safe that day, that he will have a nurturing environment, that he doesn't have to be afraid. And I'm going to have a great-granddaughter pretty soon entering kindergarten next year. She's pretty young, and I hope the same thing for her. That she's going to be safe. That she doesn't have to worry about people picking on her for whatever it is. You know, one of the things that we all stood and we all faced the flag and we all said the pledge a little while ago. Everybody got up and did that. The last few words, what? And justice for all. So we have to think about that today. That's a policy that guides the United States of America. It's a policy that leaders throughout the state of Montana, school boards, state legislature start with every day. And justice for all. Let's remember those words as you think about this and consider the issue of changing this policy. I think you did a wonderful job in passing this policy in January. I support you on it. Please do not rescind it. Thank you very much.
My name is Nigel. I also live at 1916 Central Great Falls. I'm a former high school administrator, retired from this school, and a past member of the Board of Trustees of the different districts. So I understand. So I understand the importance of policy and the importance of the language in that policy, because I have for many, many years had to enforce and interpret what that policy said. And so I think that what your policy states is the correct policy. I think that it's enforceable. I think that it doesn't discriminate. And I think that it's a type of policy that protects all students. And after all, that's our responsibility, is to make sure that each and every student is protected, has the right to public education. When I was the athletic director for this different school district, and I had students that had long grades, and they wanted to wrestle, but they couldn't do wrestle because they had a couple of grades. Those grades are very important, significant, the big significance of those in the Indian culture. I'm a member of the Blackfeet tribe. And so Dan Fett was the director of the MHSA at that time. And he and I took that policy to the National Wrestling Commission in Kansas City. And we got that policy changed based upon discrimination and based upon the cultural and the importance of the grades to the students. I also had a girl that was a member of a football team and was a member of a wrestling team. So this is already happening. We made reasonable accommodations for her. And we had no problems, bathrooms, no problems with the locker rooms. So, we lived it, we got through it, and it's workable. So I don't know why there's such a big concern of that, because after all, we're not discriminating against people. This policy also addresses bullying. And there's a lot of bullying that goes along with students who are different. And I think that that's one part that we really need to enforce. If you're being bullied, it's going to affect your educational opportunities. It's going to affect the learning environment. And it's going to affect the reason for you not to come to school. And we want to have every student come to school. That's what they're going to do. And so I fully support this policy. I want to thank Superintendent Lacey and the school board for having the courage to bring this policy forward and for having the courage to have this hearing, even though you probably had the hearing before. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, I'm here from a student. So I'm Patrick Brennan from Seymour High School. My address is 1427 2nd Avenue Northwest. I don't have a speech written out or any notes written out. I'm a member on the swim team here at Seymour. I manage the cross-country team. I'm on the tennis varsity team. I participated in the E Club, and I'm a swimming state champion through MHSA. There's a lot of discriminating, and it's been said a lot, through our public schools, and it's seen through our statistics and our suicides and our depression rates and our alcoholism rates, not just in Great Falls, but through Montana in general. So, yeah, it's about bathrooms, but you can't just segregate it. I mean, you look back, they make you take history so you don't repeat it. That's what they always tell you, I hate history. They make you take it anyway. So, obviously what they tried was nobody wanted to share bathrooms or public places with colored people, people of color. They don't want to do that. So their solution was, well, we'll segregate it. And that didn't work out. And that's when you guys propose that option, it's not going to work out that way. There's going to be something wrong with it. Their bathrooms are going to be better or worse, or why did they get, it's never going to work out that way. I've shared bathrooms with trans people before at CMR and other places in the nation. You're going to the bathroom. That's all it is. It's just a locker room. It's a bathroom. I mean, what are we going to do with people who identify as LGBT? I mean, you can't just, oh, well, he might look at my butt, so we're going to move him to the other bathroom. You can't do that. That's not right. I'm a heterosexual male, 18 years old, and it doesn't matter to me at all. And I've spoken to many students before this meeting, because I thought, this was going to be a topic, and asked their opinions on it. There were some conservatives with religious purposes that said, that they were against it. But then once I talked to them a bit, I'm like, well, can they use your bathroom? Like, would you be totally objectified to it? They're like, I don't agree with it, but I'd accept it. And I thank the public for speaking their opinion, but as far as, there's another student. Hi. I'm glad that you guys are bringing up this situation, but from a student standpoint, it doesn't really matter. It's a bathroom, it's a locker room, it's a place to go change. And if you look at it from a broader standpoint, they're going to school to go to school. They probably go through enough stuff at their house or in the hallways or on the sports teams. We shouldn't focus just on the bathroom. Like, they obviously have other problems in their life that aren't being focused on, so why won't we just let them use the bathroom? Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Scott Marshall. I'm a student at Carroll College, and I'm coming on behalf of the Gay Straight Alliance. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I just want to say that I support, as well as the Gay Straight Alliance and Carroll supports your anti-discrimination policy that you passed in January. And I'd also like to say that I'm a vet as well. I was serving in the Marine Corps. I fought for justice and for a nation, and I do not stand for coming back home to hear that people can be discriminated against at home. So thank you very much for your your policy, and I truly hope that it does not change. You are the tip of the spear for Montana. Thank you.
Chairman Cahill, Superintendent Lacey, and board members. My name is Lori Glover, Glover. My address is 1318 16th Street South in Great Falls. I am a family nurse practitioner and a nurse educator, and I want to thank the board members for protecting the rights of all children to a safe and quality educational environment. I'm in the business of promoting health and preventing illness, including mental health disorders and suicide. Discrimination in communities is a risk factor for mental health disorders and suicide. Whatever we can do to make our communities safe and healthy for all children, we must preserve that. Thank you for having the foresight and the ethics to pass this non-discrimination policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.